What's going on, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to my channel. As you know, it's your girl Cravin Cowboys. What's up, y'all? Good morning. Good morning. Just a little bit late, but I appreciate y'all joining me. Look, we ain't gonna be out here long. As you guys see, I can kind of switched it up. I'm actually out front here, in front of my house this time around. It's a little bit hot on the other side, as you guys know, dead middle of summertime, but I love to be outside. I hate being cooped up inside, especially when the weather is nice. And hey, when I can get out and enjoy the weather, I'm going to do that for sure. So, appreciate everybody joining me. Before we get started too much into the stream, ask you guys just to hit the like button, hit the share button. Really appreciate you guys being in the building with me. Everybody on the YouTube side, Facebook side, welcome. This is actually my first time, since late last year, streaming on Facebook. I'm sure other content creators have seen also. I just got an email from Twitter/X. Elon Musk. For whatever reason, is now making it a requirement to be a premium X member. Pretty much for you to pay for a premium account. To stream through Twitter, but I don't want to do that. I just got a Twitter. I really just got a Twitter. Sorry about that. That's my dog, y'all. Stop. But yeah, I honestly just got a Twitter just last year, and like I said, I didn't even really have one before. So now they're talking about something we might have to pay for one. Like I'm good. I'm good off that. So yeah, like I said, so yeah, everyone joining on the Facebook side, YouTube side. Welcome everybody joining in. Really appreciate you guys. Like I said, hit the like button, hit the share button. If you guys saw them on your way in, hit the Cash App as well. Let me bring this up for a second, right quick. Um, yeah, you guys, yeah, do me a favor, just hit that cash up, please. It really helps. As you guys know, training camp is coming up here soon. Actually, just next a week from today, you got the guys will be pulling up in Oxnard, California, next Tuesday actually, and I believe the first day of practice is either next Wednesday or Thursday. Not 100% sure, but and actually, it's actually a couple weeks before I actually head out there myself. Be able to give our own eyes on our Dallas Cowboys, and I'm really looking forward to that. So any dollar helps. Any dollar here, dollar there, $5. Anything you guys can contribute. And if you guys can't do that, like it says here, give me a follow on X, give me a follow on IG, give me a follow on Facebook, YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. I'm actually just under 300 subscribers. I'm 7 subscribers away from 300. Y'all, help me out. Help me out. I really appreciate it. As you guys can see, you'll get clips just like these. Sitting up there in the bleachers, giving you guys good shots of the players out there. As you know, got a new defensive coordinator out there. Give you guys good shots of Zimmer's, new defense possibly. Seeing our new linebackers that we picked up in the off season. And seeing our new defensive players as well. Seeing Micah Parsons, Zeke Elliott back. For another year with the Cowboys. So yeah, just to just be able to give you guys good shots like this, and hopefully bring you guys good content as well. This is my second year going into doing content creation, and I'm loving it. I love my Dallas Cowboys, and if you guys been following me, like I said, this is something I just wanted to kind of do, just to kind of really as a hobby, but really just kind of get myself more involved with the team and to learn more about the team, and really become more invested in. I invest my money. I'm saying, so why not invest just a little bit more time, and also connect with other Cowboys fans as well out there in Cowboys Nation, and speaking of Cash App, shout out to JVV boy. Not sure if he's in the building just yet, but overnight, he actually donated to my Cash App, and I really appreciate that. And you guys, definitely don't have to do that. And shout out to everybody else, who has also donated over my time on the show. Nisi, Eastside Herald, as a Cowboys MVP in these content creator chats, and also Bruce got the toxic juice. He also donated to my channel as well. So like I said, shout out to anybody who has, ever donated. And also shout out to people who have watched my channel, watched my shows, watch my weekly show with Star, Star Chasers. Girls Talk Ball will actually be back next week, back on for the season, getting it going. So hope you guys tap in then as well. But make sure you guys follow my girl Star, because she's amazing. She's definitely one of our best friends in this this content community, and she's really smart. She's just great, and I love working with her, and I really look forward to getting back on our show next week. Hey, what's up, Swain? My fave, of course, in the building. First one in the building. That's man. I love you, man. Look, me and Swain. Look, we go back to when I first actually started. Circling around these content creator parts when I was just in the chat. And me and Swain just like, I don't know, we just kind of found each other, man. Like we just just going back and forth and always like, as you guys, we always calling each other Fave, and man, like just one of the realest people I know that be in these chats as well. And I really appreciate you being in the building. Hey, what's up, Keystone in the building as well? I appreciate you, man. Hey, one of my faves as well. That's something I keep, and me and Star keep saying it too. Like having to link up with you, having to link up with Keystone, having to link up with Amp. And I keep having to say we got to link up, we got to link up, but we definitely got to link up. I'm gonna hit you up shortly after I get off this show, and Amp as well. I definitely want to get more in touch with some of the other guys in the content community, especially with the season about to start up soon. And I'm really excited. It's just like I said, my second year coming in. I appreciate that, Faye. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's really. I think actually, I don't know the exact date when I started doing this. Again, it was kind of like a work in progress for me myself, kind of trying to come out my shell. But it's pretty much been a year. I know I joined, late last, June, July last year. So it's pretty much like my year anniversary. So, like I said, appreciate everybody, joining me, everyone who's contributed, everyone who's tuned in, who supported me, who has subscribed to my channel, and shout out to everybody who will subscribe in the future. And like I said, help me out, guys. Hit that share button. I'm really trying to get to 300 subscribers before I do head out there to training camp. So like I said, today isn't going to be a long show. I'm really just like I said, I'm just chilling this morning. I got some stuff to do later on this afternoon, and I just want to kind of talk about as you guys have seen with previous shows, we are I am in the midst of my series. Actually, this is the middle episode, as you guys know. Episode number 3, and I kind of just want to come, kind of talk about the wide receiver 3 battle a little bit. As we know, my last couple shows, 5 players I was looking forward to, 4 coaches, who I think should be under pressure, and then, my show today is actually going to be, about the wide receiver 3 battle. And just, really a couple guys, maybe a few guys who are could be vying for the position. We know, the names that have been kind of circling the block. We know Jalen Brooks. We know Jalen Tolbert, of course. Last couple of years, been able to get the offense kind of under his belt, kind of just getting a little bit more involved. Taking this time, but also at the same time, the Cowboys have been giving him time to develop, but also giving him snaps as well. So he's been kind of trying to, he's also been able to kind of get that, the experience under his belt as well. Hey, what's up? What's up, Poppy? How you doing? What's good? Toxic Splendor in the building. What's going on? Hey, Peasy in the building. Look, all my faves is circling the block. What's up? What's up, man? Very happy to see everybody in the building. And Swain, yeah. Before I go any further, I seen that show. That Shout out to Rome. As you guys know, Cowboys fan talk. Shout out to him for doing that show last night. Bomb ass information. To find out that they're actively talking to Dak and CD, and I'm actually going to include that if I when I get time to edit after the show, I'm going to include that link in the description. So make you guys check that out. It's a bomb ass show. Make sure you guys check out the show by Rome, aka Cowboys fan talk, because he really gave out some great nuggets. From a source that he says he has. Like he said, Dak and CD actively talking with the Cowboys for their contracts. Possibly the Cowboys bringing in, like you said, bringing in Michael Thomas. Also, he said Justin Simmons as well for a workout. I'm not mad at it. Like I said with my show today, and it's interesting because kind of looking at the Cowboys for the past few years, we've always seen them just kind of bring in other receivers. We bring in, we're bringing Amari Cooper, who was a standout, but just as other examples, we not bring in, but we draft and develop guys. We had a Noah Brown, we had a Dennis Houston. What I'm saying, we just always seem to have like a rack of guys in the room. There's no disrespect to anybody in the wide receiver room. They're in the NFL for a reason. They're on the practice squad for a reason. A lot of these guys don't make it. What I'm saying. So for these guys to have a spot on an NFL team, that's amazing. That shout out to them. But just, the Cowboys always seem to kind of keep like a group of guys in the building, where it just seems to maybe, I'll say on the bottom half of the roster, where, of course we have CD number 1, we just brought in Brandon Cooks. But even in previous years, having a Noah Brown, I'm saying Dennis Houston starting week 1. And of course, Cowboys fans, kind of questioning the organization. You're constantly going out and getting wide receivers, but are you really trying to hammer in getting CD, a number 2? Because we've seen it, and we've seen, crazy examples. We've seen mad examples of when you take CD out of the offense, or when offenses are able to kind of double him. the offense kind of, the offense definitely goes down. Like shout out to Jake Ferguson, who's definitely added a great spark to our team. They've involved Turpin. They've gotten some of the other wide receivers involved. Tried in previous years, but it just seems like we've never had that for sure. And shout out to Michael Gallup. I think he's with the Raiders now. I'm not really, not sure if he's still in the practice squad or if he's, I'm sure he's over there for the training camp. But he was a great, solid number three for us. Unfortunately, until he got hurt. But even just so, just having a solid number two, like, and having him drop from a two to a three. So, I just, I've just never, in my opinion, never seems like the Cowboys take seriously a number two weapon, another guy on the outside who can stretch the field, number one, and we've always had to have, trick plays here and there, even using CD in some trick aspects to just kind of open up the offense. But it's kind of like if you just have another weapon that we can kind of bring in, just kind of mirror CD on the other side of the field to just be another guy on the outside who can be a threat, someone who can stretch the field. Like, we have a Tolbert coming along, we have a Brooks, who they're saying, has the body type, has the stretch, has the length to be able to be that other X receiver, and he could very well be a Michael Gallup replacement. You know what I mean? He has that build. He's able to jump up and contest the ball. He said that it's he's. I think I heard actually that wasn't. I think that was Flournoy. You said that he models his game after Jerry Rice, but Brooks has definitely had the opportunities. We see him, definitely being brought along. As early as we saw him have a bang out preseason last year. And then and actually now, I'll actually bring up this interview he did in the season last year, where I think it kind of explains maybe why Brooks had such a great preseason. And I'm not saying that this is the only reason he had a good camp last year because a lot of people. Actually, let me just bring up the clip because I don't want to give it away before I actually talk about it. But let me see if I can bring it up and see if we can hear Jalen Brooks just kind of talk about it shortly. And shout to everybody else coming in the building as well. Like I said, time out, time out. My bad, y'all. My bad, y'all. That's the audio, but let me see if I can get this brought up real quick. Yes, facts, Keystone. Just going over some of the comments. I saw you guys were kind of chopping it up while I was speaking. But yeah, definitely bringing a veteran DT. Yeah, and I think Rome mentioned that as well. And I think he mentioned, I forget the guy's forget the guy's name right now. But he mentioned a nose tackle from the Browns that the Cowboys were considering bringing in. And honestly, at this point, it's a plus that they're considering bringing anyone in. But I definitely gotta, like I said, hear the name again and maybe look up some film. Maybe see what he looks like, because we could definitely just use another big body, really another guy at that position, and really another guy to bring into kind of short that competition. We have Denzel Jackson, we have Justin Rogers, and of course we have Carl Davis, and of course Mozzie, but he's coming back from his shoulder deal. So how much can we really put on Mozzie right now? You know what I mean? And we got to give him that time. Granted, and just like Cowboy, just like the organization was giving Schoonmaker time to kind of come back from his injury, right? He's kind of progressing little by little. We saw him go to the tight end university and still getting some working with Dak, right? So we kind of have to give Mozzie that even more grace. That's a tougher position. He has to kind of gain. They say he's putting the weight back on. So it's just good to I think it'll be good to just kind of give him some growing room. And I don't even mean that's crazy. Look, angry Cowboys fan, what's up, man? Very happy to see you in the building. What's up? What's up? What's up, man? I definitely subscribe to YouTube after me and you chopped it up a West Coast channel. I definitely made sure to do that because man, you have some great content. And I recently just saw. I know it's old, but just kind of going over some of your content. Kind of getting acclimated to your page, man. I love that press conference segment you did. After talking about contracts and things like that. I'm like, man, look. And I just that's why I say I love this content community because you just have so many different personalities you can follow, and guys that bring different aspects. Bring comedy to I just love that. I just love the variety. I love just the. I'm saying just like I said, I just love your creativity, man. Very happy to have you in the building. Okay, good. Okay, good. Yes, Swain said it loud and clear. All right, cool, cool. All right, Jeff. All right, let me see if I. All right, let me. Yeah, man. Of course, anytime, man. Of course, anytime. Appreciate you, Angry Cowboys fan. But yeah, that's like I said. Let me bring up this audio of Let me find this timestamp actually. Okay, yeah. And this is where Brooks kind of talks about, what he wants to work on. Let me bring up a new. Let me see. Okay, let me share my screen with you guys. And then, okay, let me make sure you guys can see it. And then I'm gonna test the sound out. As a video play, just give me, help me out. You guys just give me a thumbs up in the chat if you guys can hear the video. I'm gonna put a little bit before the clip so that way you guys can kind of test it out and see if you can hear it. Because the last couple times I did videos with YouTube, it's been kind of choppy, but I'm gonna see if it, works a little bit better this time around. So like I said, let me know number one if it's choppy. Let me know if you can hear it, and just let me know how smooth the sound is with the video. All right, here we go.
Building on it, what are some of the things that Robert Prince, when you look back at the film, some improvements that you feel like you could make if there were?
Okay, guys. So this interview actually takes place last year after the Giants game. I believe week 9, week 10. I think I'm not 100% sure on the week, but it wasn't a Giants game, and that's when we actually seen Jalen Brooks, get busy, get a little bit more involved in the offense. I believe he was 4 for 4. I believe 39 yards, and you can actively see Dak, get him more involved. Targeting him. He's making his catches, and we even saw just a little bit of shiftiness. What he could offer. We saw a lot from him in preseason as it was, but and we saw him being active. In a few games throughout the season, but he may not have got. May not have got. He says choppy just a little bit. Okay, all right, cool. All right, let me see. Let me refresh this right quick. Okay, yes. So like I said, we seen Jalen Brooks show out just last year. Great, great preseason, and just like I said, not really being active in most of these games. But once they did get him involved, we saw his shiftiness. What he could bring. We saw his length. His willingness to go up and high point the ball. Just really just being versatile. The times when we couldn't, I'm not gonna say where we couldn't count on Tolbert, but times where, couldn't find Tolbert at that time, or maybe just trying to get him involved. And yeah, granted, some of the snaps, down the stretch of the season may have came from, Cooper Rush, of course, when Dak is already out the game. But I mean, we like to see that. That's where these guys get these opportunities, right? You're not going to get these NFL reps if the starters are in there, continuously. So I would say, I think is a good thing. A good way for these guys to, that's kind of how we worked in some of these younger. That's how we worked in, CD Lamb, Michael. That's how these guys come along, right? We got to get them these small snaps. We even saw last year getting a lot of their guys involved in the preseason, in even in camp. We saw guys like Tyron Billy Johnson. We saw, Jalen Moreno Cropper. We saw from last year, Ontario Drummond. He was very active in some of these preseason games last year with in the Jags. I wasn't saying the Jags game, but I do have some film I'll bring up later on in the show from the Raiders game, and we definitely saw a lot from Ontario Drummond and also Tyron Billy Johnson, Jalen Moreno Cropper. Even I think his name was Jalen Barbone. I think from last year. I'm not sure if he's here anymore, but just seeing the willingness for the Cowboys to kind of give up these guys all a lot of chances to be able to show what they can offer, and just see if they can if they can contribute anything. And here Jalen just kind of speaks about what he thinks he can improve upon after this his first really getting active game. Like I said, I hope it's not too choppy. Let me know if you guys can hear it, and give me a thumbs up. All right, here we go.
You look at the film, some improvements that you feel like you could make if there were any at all from that game.
Moving and end up going back inside.
I can see that I can even just look at it the way the video is moving. Okay, I'm not sure. Let me see if I can get this in a different window, and then maybe see if I can get that working better. Just experimenting a little bit. Bear with me if you guys don't mind. Just bear with me 1 second. All right, let me try this again. All right, let me try it again. This thing's off the chain, y'all. I'm really sorry about this. Give me one more chance, y'all. Just like Biggie said, just give me one more chance, y'all. Let me try it one more time. Get this going. All right, it looks like okay. There we go. All right, and let me see if it plays.
You look like at the film, some improvements that you feel like you could make if there were any at all from that game.
Yeah, so just, yards after catch.
Still choppy, y'all?
I made on my first catch, I made a juke move and then ended up going back into the guy. And then just little miscellaneous things.
Little things, but still a great impact that you made. 4 catches for 39 yards, and 3 of those catches acted in.
Okay, so I'm gonna just move on. All right, pretty much he said. Okay, he said I'm on the clock. Is it still choppy, Swain? Well, let me know if it's still choppy though. But he pretty much said like he needs to work on his yak ability. He wants to work on being able, work on his separation. So and that's something we want to see, also from Tolbert as well. I think those are really the main 2 guys. Just to kind of get into my show here. I think those are really the main 2 guys who are really going to be battling it out for this wide receiver 3 position. And we know that there's other guys in the room, like I said, like a Jalen Moreno Cropper. And they brought in guys like a Racy McMath. They brought in, signed undrafted, Corey Crooms. They brought in, a good, good handful, like I said, a good handful of guys in this room. So these guys are going to have, other guys are going to have opportunity. But like I said, I think the main 2 guys that are going to be battling for this position are going to be Jalen Tolbert and Jalen Brooks, just because number one, experience. Tolbert and Brooks now having a year under his belt, they're both going to be, a little bit more well versed in this offense. Second year of the offense, and I wouldn't say they're actually because we can look at last year as being Tolbert's really first viable rookie year. You know what I mean? Because the first year we know he had a tough time kind of coming on. The Kellen Moore's offense, he was kind of taking his time learning, and then kind of ended up being a red shirt year. So now seeing him kind of come on in the second year, Jalen Brooks coming on as well. They're both involved in the offense. Second year of Mike McCarthy's offense, and it'll just be good to see just how well ingrained they've gotten themselves in the playbook. How well they learned and how much they've improved in their individual game. What I'm saying? Like I said, improve on their separation. Winning at the top of the route. And high pointing the ball. And we see, like I said, I have just some few clips, a few film clips later on in the show. Of each of these guys, and just a few of the guys, towards the bottom end of the roster. And I did have some clips, but it looks like since it's going to be choppy, I'm just going to just kind of explain my way through some of those. That way, you guys don't have to sit through. Excuse me, don't have to sit through any real bad audio. All right, so let's get this going. All right, so we're just taking a look. Really, first of all, like I said, I think the main guys I'll be vying for this position, is a Jalen Tolbert, Jalen Brooks. But of course, we know the rest of the guys that are in this room. I'm gonna get myself off here real quick just for a second. The other guys that we have in this room, I kind of separated the list, and like I said, it's no slight to the guys in the room, but I think just with some of these guys having a year under their belt, like I said, guys to the left outside of Ryan Florino, as we know, he's draft capital. He's our, a 6th-round pick this past year, and just seeing that, like I said, number one, like Jalen Moreno Cropper, Tyler Billy Johnson, David Durden, pretty much having a year under their belt, not necessarily in this offense because these guys that weren't really in the offense last year, they're definitely practice squad for the majority part of the year, for the majority part of the season last season. So sorry, that's my dog again. But like I said, but I do think that you see, I can't put that comment up there. Toxic spent the pot for you, crazy. I ain't gonna put that comment up there, but look, I hope you're not doing that while listening to me. Come on now, you better get, you better stop. You crazy, fam. You are crazy. But yeah, like I was saying, I just think the guys to the left have a little bit more. I would say a little bit more, maybe a little bit more stake, maybe more sponsors in the building. Like I said, these other guys that they brought in, Cam Johnson, Corey Crooms, Erasing McMath, he may have a little bit more. I forget who I heard it from, but I think maybe Brian Broadus had mentioned that that he may have the body type that they're looking for. Just like last year, we seen them go out and get, a Martavius Bryant. We see them go out and he's kind of on the taller side, and even bringing in a receiver like Brooks, or even bringing in a receiver like Florida who has that height. We had to go out and get Brandon Cooks because I think we more so got him for his experience. You know what I'm saying? But and going out and getting a Turpin, we picked him up more so for return reasons. You know what I mean? But of course, we know that he has wide receiver capabilities, but we just haven't seen that to the full extent. So I think it's a chance that that all these guys, of course, we know that they're going to get a chance and they're going to get more of an opportunity when training camp does get here. And we know now that they're going to be in Oxnard for a full month, so that's going to be plenty of time for number one to see what these guys have, and I'm sure the Cowboys going to take plenty opportunity to ride up plays. Maybe for some of these players, like Swain just said, Billy Johnson feels like he's going to be a slot sleeper, and I agree with you, fam. Actually, some of the clips I'm gonna bring up later on in the show, with Billy Johnson, and if you guys, like I said, if you guys rewatch any of the preseason games from last year, the Raiders game, they really got Billy Johnson involved towards the end of the game. Like you saw a lot of shiftiness. You saw him kind of stretching the field a little bit, 10 to 15, even 20-yard pass catches. He definitely has some shiftiness to him. And I think that's something also that the Cowboys do. They kind of, I don't want to say they go out and get a lot of the same guys, but just in my eyes, and I am definitely I'm definitely no pro at looking at these guys, stature and comparing wide receivers and, to each other or anything like that. But like I said, just seeing them going out to get guys who do have the length, who do have the height. Like I said, bring in Flournoy, and just looking at some film from last year, Billy Johnson and Cropper do seem, just like I said, like to me, and I don't have any expert opinion, but seem like some similar builds. You know what I mean? Similar shiftiness. So I think maybe some of these guys may be edged out just because the Cowboys picking up receivers with similar characteristics. And I think that same thing. And that's supposed to happen, right? That's when you kind of whittle down the roster. That's what you're trying to cancel out. What I'm saying, redundancies. And I think it's going to be unfortunate. Like I think, like I agree with you, Swain. I think Billy Johnson is definitely a sleeper. Could definitely be a threat. And like I said, him having a year under his belt, I think that kind of gives him the edge over some of these guys that they brought in. Like I said, some of these guys to the right, Cam Johnson, Corey Crew, Mason McMath. I just think that experience over everything, right? And I think the Cowboys will be looking towards some of these guys, like they've been telling guys like Tolbert and Brooks to step up. They're gonna look at these guys to make third year jumps, second year jumps. Well, we can include the practice squad in that as well. Just because you're on practice squad doesn't mean that you can't improve, right? It doesn't mean that you can't look to elevate your game even more, right? So we're looking at these, we're looking at Cropper, we're looking at Johnson, even shout out to Dak. Like I said, I did have a clip, but just acting kind of funky today. Dak did have an interview where he actually shouted out, pretty much all the J's. He did shout out Tolbert, Cropper, and Brooks as well. He said that it was actually an aspect of they're asking him about with CD being gone, it definitely it gives the other wide receivers more opportunity, and of course it does. And it does give them opportunity. And in that interview, Dak actually said by name, he said it's giving guys like Brooks, like Cropper, and even Tolbert. He said that he's actually feels more confident in Tolbert because he's in the right spot at the right time, but he's also built the opportunity to give him snaps. And all, of course, we know the wide receivers going on the retreat, building that. And that's actually the point I was going to make with the clip with Jalen Brooks. But unfortunately, like I said, acting kind of funky. But I think the reason that Brooks had a real standout camp is because in that first and 10 interview, he mentioned that when they took the retreat last year in Atlanta, that Dak was making an active attempt to target him when they were at the retreat. And that's that was, I think, like weeks before training camp. So I think they, Brooks had that opportunity to kind of build that rapport with Dak. He possibly took the opportunity to kind of, pull Dak to the side. Hey, I want to do this. I want to do that. What do you think? He explained that there were times that Dak was, pulling him to the side and explained that, why he was throwing him the ball a certain way. So that way he wasn't, putting him in dangerous situations. But I just really think that they have been able to kind of build that rapport. Same thing, and that's what we need, right? And I don't think I think with Tolbert and Brooks, it's definitely a competition for wide receiver three, but we definitely need someone in that wide receiver four spot as well. So whoever wins that spot, I think is a whoever doesn't win that spot, I should say, is a good a good viable wide receiver four. And I think as the year goes on, I think that that battle will continue to go on. Honestly, in my opinion, in practices, and they'll see who edges out each other in certain weeks, and then see how they perform as the season goes on, because it's definitely not easy to start. The season isn't easy to start out with, so these guys will get opportunities to prove why they should have these positions. So like I said, I believe that the guys on the left definitely have more of an opportunity, and to show what they can be capable of. So let me go ahead and move on to my next. Let's see. And I actually had just kind of explain the clips I had lined up for you guys today. Let's see. Robert Prince, actually, I had queued up Robert. Actually, let me do his up. Let's see what with me works a little bit better, because he spoke on. Let me see. He spoke on Jalen Brooks, Jalen Tolbert, and actually spoke on Cropper and Billy Johnson as well. He made it a big point in his interview that he really wanted to see, progression and production from his wide receiver group. And just like I was talking about earlier, about these guys, contributing more, needing a number two threat to be opposite of CD. I think we all see it. And just for Robert Prince to come out and say, hey, we need production from you guys, I think that says something. I think it says that, hey, we know that you guys have potential. We know that you guys can do it, but we need to see it. What I'm saying? We can't keep having these, training camp battles, or guys standing out in training camp, but then when the season gets upon us, these guys disappear. So, I think Robert Prince is making them more aware of that as well. But yeah, let me see if I can bring up this interview. Okay. All right, let me close that. Appreciate you guys. Like I said, hit the like button, hit the share button. Thank you guys for being here. Let me see. All right, here we go. All right, let me know if it's choppy. Hopefully, it's not too choppy. It's not too long of a clip, so hopefully, if it is a little choppy, it's not. It's not too bad to listen to. All right, I'm playing for you guys. Wait for it to come up. Sorry, y'all. Give me one sec. All right, there we go. You can leave. No, thank you.
Albert, Jalen Brooks, kind of
All right, let me know if you guys can hear.
the jump you expect them to take this season.
Yeah, we expect all the starting with JT. He made a jump from year one to year two. We expect the same thing to happen for him going into year three. And Jalen Brooks works hard. He's always studying, and he's one of those guys that can play all the positions. And we're looking forward to seeing what he can do this year as well.
Yeah, so he mentions both Jalen Tolbert and Jalen Brooks, and I like that he mentions that Brooks can play all three positions. And what's crazy to me is, like, that's what I really wish these clips. Okay, you said loud and clear. It's not choppy at all. Please let me know, fam. I'll definitely play these clips, man. That would be amazing. But yeah, like I said, Robert Prince mentions here that Brooks, number one, can play all three positions. And like I mentioned earlier with Dak's interview, he mentioned that Tolbert can play all three positions. So that's really why I think that it's really gonna come down. And I'm sure everyone thinks the same thing. That's gonna come down to these two battling for this position. And it's gonna be really interesting to see who stands out because we saw a lot. We saw a lot and we heard a lot. From Brooks and Tolbert. Last season in training camp. Tolbert making the end zone catch. Brooks just standing out. As the quote unquote seventh rounder. Just being that, like I said, just being that potential X receiver who could maybe potentially replace Gallup or just let me see. He says a little choppy. Okay, good. Okay, he said it was a little choppy, but the parts that was loud and clear when they did play. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So yeah, like I said, Robert Prince mentions that, and let me see further on this interview. Let's see. He talks about Billy Johnson and Cropper, and then I'm gonna play the last little snippet of his interview. He talks about like I said, he mentions what he expects from his room.
Johnson, what have you seen from them to kind of give you confidence as well?
Yeah, I think with Jalen Cropper, he sees that he belongs. I think when he first went through training camp, the game slowed down for him. And really, as far as Billy, this back in the building, and he's infectious, and I'm excited to see what he can do.
What would you say is
Yeah, so like he just talked about just like I said before, the shiftiness. He said the speed is there for Tyron Billy Johnson, and like I said, he was definitely involved in the preseason game, kind of late down the stretch, in the preseason, and I think I don't know if he was one of the guys who got cut and was brought back, or if he just made the practice squad. Obviously he didn't make the final roster, but he was brought back on the practice squad, and just seeing seeing the time he took, he being taking the entire season, getting more ingrained in the offense, like he said, having him come back. I'm assuming signed the future and was able to come back and be with the Cowboys again, and just that's what we look for with a lot of these young players, just consistency. I'm saying I think he was brought on as an undrafted, but just seeing that they believe in him, and Cropper as well. So just two guys that they're mentioning by name a lot. And just like I said, this is the last snippet of what he expects from the group.
the biggest focus for your position room this offseason?
The biggest thing is to produce. Obviously, with CD having big numbers, and that's kind of been the focal point. We got him to the point of attack, but other guys that can make plays, and this year we're expecting a lot of people to try to take CD away, and we're going to have production from those other guys.
Yeah, exactly. Just like you said, and just like I mentioned earlier, like we definitely see a stalemate in the offense when it seems like CD is taken away, and that. Hey JC, what's up, fam? How you doing? Hey man, very grateful for you being here. Very, very grateful. Appreciate you, man. Salute to you, man. Amazing content creator, y'all. Make sure you guys subscribe to him if you guys aren't just yet. But appreciate everybody in the building coming through. Appreciate you, man. But yeah, like I said, I think that what was I saying? Oh yeah, like I mentioned, like Prince just said, he's really going to need this wide receiver group to step up because we don't want to see we don't want to see the offense go stale. You know what I'm saying, when it seems like our main piece has been taken away, and even when we do have a Ferguson, it makes a huge difference when we can't run the ball. It makes a huge difference when we can't stretch the field. You know what I'm saying? We saw what it looked like when Dak was doing quote unquote check downs, but we struggled to move at some points in the season. We struggled to move the ball last season, so it's going to be really important to be able to just find someone who can really just be opposite CD and contribute. And like I forget who mentioned it earlier. I think it was Swain who mentioned it earlier about Billy Johnson being shifty and could go on the slot. So yeah, so like and that's what Cowboys love to see, right? They love to see a receiver who can do multiple, like I mentioned, or like Dak mentioned about Tolbert, like Prince mentioned about Brooks playing multiple positions. And this is the film. I'm getting way too ahead of myself. 1 second, y'all. And yeah, before we get out of here, I'm just looking at a few film clippets that I brought up for each receiver. And forgive my presentation; it uploaded as a video as opposed to slides. So I kind of had to replay it again. But yeah, like I said, I'm just gonna take a look at a few of these. Let me get me off of here right quick. just take a look at a few of these plays from last season, and just maybe look at some examples of how each of these receivers could contribute. But these first couple ones are Tolbert, of course. I have his stats up here in the corner, but it's kind of covered up. I didn't realize it would be covered up, but yeah, he had 22 receptions, a little over. I think he had a little less than 260 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then we definitely look for him to improve, improve numbers wise, but also just to improve mentally on the field, schematically. You know what I'm saying? Just and hopefully, McCarthy get him more involved. Get his confidence up because he already says his confidence is sky high with Dak and the rest of the receiver room and them just being able to build that camaraderie, not just last year, but this year as well. They went on, I think this past week or so, they went on the retreat again. We saw a lot of those guys out there, a lot of wide receivers, the tight ends as well, Brevin Spanford, John Stevens Jr. And I think it's great that the way Dak is really, number one he shoots to include everyone, you know what I mean, but at the same time, when you're showing that you have confidence in your young guys, they're gonna play better for you. All right, so let me play this. Like I said, this first clip is Tolbert. I think this first clip is from the Patriots game, and I just love to see that he uses quick thinking to kind of get separation from the defensive back. We see him down, yeah, there we see him down at the bottom, and just kind of, like I said, use quick thinking. You know, even just if you will, just a little bit of shiftiness to kind of get away, to kind of make the play his own. He could have very easily, because we've seen a lot of times last year where Tolbert kind of, caught the ball and went down. He was, kind of becoming like, being that possession receiver. And it's just good to see as the season went on. I have, other clips from the Miami game where he just seemed to progress. He just, seemed to be working on his yak ability. This here is from the Philadelphia game. A huge conversion. I think it was a third down conversion. And like I said, just hit this him right there. That was a possession catch, but a great conversion. And then just these two plays right here, I want to look at back to back, guys. Just for a second, let me rewind this real quick. And I'm just kind of looking at it step by step. This is kind of how, just in my opinion, how Tolbert kind of built the relationship with Dak all the way, going back to training camp. They talked a lot about Tolbert getting in sync with Dak's feet, right? And before this play kind of starts, we see Dak here, of course, in the pocket. We see, him having a little bit of time, but soon the play turns into like a scramble play. So, of course, we see Tolbert there at the top of the route, top left of the field. And this ends up being like a penalty. So, a penalty on the defense, though. So, ends up being a good play. But we see Tolbert just kind of get that separation. And then Dak throws it to make a 15, 20-yard completion. But like I said, being a scramble play, so Tolbert just being in sync with his quarterback. And even if you guys watch, you guys can see Dak, moving up, pointing at him, saying, hey, move up this way, move up that way. That way I can throw it to you. It just, like I said, just seeing them make the connection, seeing Tolbert just finally, like I said, get his confidence up, building that connection with Dak is going to be the most important thing going into the season. Especially, like I said, especially with him being a high draft pick, they're going to be looking at him to make a huge jump. And this same play here as well is actually the touchdown. Once again, a scramble play. Dak was out the pocket. And you see Tolbert down here at the bottom right. Then he makes the catch. Yep, feet in bounds. And like I said, here's some instances in the Miami game. Where Dak just puts his whole trust in him, but we see he gets the separation. Makes the catch. And he actually, and that's another. If you guys don't see it here again, he's actually going to battle for the ball, and that's huge, especially against a team like Miami. We're looking for huge plays down the field. Dak just puts us all into it, and we see Tor make that catch and to battle for the ball. And I think that's something like I said, it just like Dak said, it improves his confidence in him going forward. All right, so the next one I have Jalen Brooks. Like I said, I have the example I have for him is when, of course, the Giants game we discussed earlier. Like I said, we just seen some shiftiness from him. Dang, trying to skip ahead. Sorry about that. It's kind of skipping around. I think that was Cook showing on the film right there. Let me skip forward just a little bit. All right, and then like I said, this last segment we have is just some clips of Tyron Billy Johnson, his use in the Raiders game last year, and Jalen Moreno Cropper as well. Like I said, this is shiftiness that he has. This is Cropper on the first play, converting the first down. And of course, we know, like I said, it's preseason last year, so this is actually Will Greer throwing him the ball. Like I said, we have Billy Johnson stretching the field on this play right here. He's going to run back. I think that was huge for him, and even plays like that. And we've even seen plays like that. I mean, he's no longer here, but like a Semi Fuhoko, we saw that last year in preseason with them trying to get him involved. Even just short dump off passes here and there. Going outside slants. Just things like that. Just getting the player involved, getting their rhythm going. So I think that really helped out Billy Johnson late. Late down the stretch in this game, and Cropper as well. They kind of got him in motion a little bit. Just doing different things. Like I said, I think they have similar builds, but I think like Prince mentioned, I think his Billy Johnson's speed is gonna maybe give him the edge over Cropper, and but I think Cropper is definitely ringing. His name is definitely ringing bells. I mean, last year's training camp, and even we hear in OTAs this past off season, they're giving Cropper snaps at doing kick returns and punt returns, I believe. So who knows what that can mean? That could be a reason why. That could be an indication that they trust him a little bit more than we know. They were also giving Wanya Thomas snaps at returns. So maybe they could just be trying to fill out different body types, different types of returners, and maybe that could just mean that they could probably be using Turpin a little bit more on offense. Who knows what any of this means? We won't know until training camp gets here. But I just think it's interesting that all these guys are having different roles. They're getting different uses. From an organization, also to see what they excel at. That was an example. That was an example of them using. Using, Billy Johnson in the slot. right here in the middle. Able to gain a few more yards after that, but not much. But I mean, I think you guys understand. Yeah, that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. Like I said, it's wide receiver three position, the wide receiver three position. I think it's going to come down to Tolbert and Brooks, of course. But I think a lot of these guys are really just battling for role positions. Like I kind of take it back to what Solari said about the O line room. Like a lot of these guys, we do have our starters. We know who we're looking at to start this thing, but a lot of these guys are battling for roles as well, and we're looking for that too. We're looking for guys to fill up the special, looking for guys on special teams, looking for guys to do the dirty work, of blocking, things like that. We're always looking for ways to extend the offensive line. So I just think, like I mentioned with Cropper, Brooks, Billy Johnson even having his name mentioned by Robert Prince by name. I think that shows that some of these guys have, maybe just a little more sponsorship in the room than we had known. So I appreciate you guys, sitting, chilling with me through the show. Everyone that came through, I really appreciate y'all. I didn't expect it. I did a different time slot today just to try something new. But I appreciate everybody coming through. Like I said, hit the like button, hit the share button. If you guys can contribute to my Cash App. Training camp coming up here in a few weeks. Again, shout out to JVB Boy. Appreciate you for your donation overnight, man. I really appreciate it. Again, guys, hit the like button, hit the share button. I'm trying to reach 300 subscribers before I head out there to Oxnard. So, I really like to reach that milestone before I get out there. So, appreciate everybody for coming through. Thank you guys for showing love. Can't really say when my next show will be, but it'll definitely be sometime this week. Because like I said, I want to get you guys, finish out the rest of the series before training camp gets here. But if not, that's cool. I can always, I'll definitely be bringing you shows, regardless. Y'all gonna get these lives, whether y'all want them or not. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and make sure you guys catch me and Star. We'll be back next week, next Wednesday. 7:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern, for Star Chasers, Girls Talk Ball. Really appreciate you guys, for joining me. Yeah, I really appreciate you, Angry Cowboys fan. We gonna link up. Like I said, I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna hit up Keystone, hit up Amp as well, because I really want to connect with you guys. You guys are my main guys in this space, and I really appreciate you guys' just confidence. You guys always showing love and always coming through on my shows. And I appreciate that too, Angry Cowboys fan. Really do appreciate that. But yeah, thanks you guys for joining me. I'll see you guys next time, and we gonna head out. All right, catch you guys next time. See you. Hold up, before we get out of here, my dog. I don't know if you guys heard, but my dog saying, "Peace out." I gotta say something after that bark, because look, he can't have the last word, right? I see y'all later. See ya.